there's going to be a bunch of W7M.
shit.
Oh, Jesus. Right. So here I am with Aimke of Space Station Academy. Aimke, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah, so SSGA is one of the invited teams for Element 1, and you're also a team that has now been together for quite a while. Like, what are your expectations for this event, and how has that time benefited you?
I guess for like starting on the first part, my expectations would be the same for like especially since I played E1 before. I definitely want to make playoffs, and then I definitely want to make the win the whole thing, obviously. But yeah, my default goal is always to just make playoffs, make top 8, like get out of fucking Swiss, and yeah.
Yeah,
And
and you've been in the playoffs of both XGS and TPL in recent memories, so as well as E1. So you have at least on an individual level, as well as with SSGA, you have a history of making these playoffs and managing to survive the Swiss stage.
yeah. In terms of like us being like together maybe longer than some of these teams or just like having more practice or whatever, obviously it would benefit us. I think it allows us just to like get our play together more. Like we're just able to like understand like what our problems are or like what each kind of like what each other's strengths and weaknesses are. So just like an overall benefit.
Right. And last we talked, Velino, and to a certain extent, lesser extent, Godville as well, were recent pickups. How has this additional time since XGS benefited you guys in betting them in? Because I know for some teams there's a honeymoon period with new players, but for others they really struggle to get going and then they hit their stride.
Um, I mean, the extra time's really just allowed us to work out like any like problems we've had. Just like making sure we have each other like make sure everyone has like a goal they can work towards. Like for right now, like for Godville's goal right now is just like more communication. So it just like allows us to give like time for that to like find each other's like problems and like help guide each other into like solving that and just like improving overall as players and as a team.
Right. And if you had to rank, this is where the instigation starts. Fair warning. If you had to rank the invited teams by shitness, who is the
Watch.
shiniest turd and who is the shittiest turd?
Okay, let me pull up fucking the list real quick on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. So, am I doing from worst to best? Is that how we're doing it?
Yeah, just whatever. Any names that stick out.
Oh, any names that stick out? Okay. I definitely think Osiris and Orglis are the two worst invited teams. I think
That's also Osiris without Kronk,
Ambi.
if memory
Yeah,
serves. They
I
have
mean,
something to
I
Kronk.
see it more without Ambi because Ambi like hard carried them in Xenon.
That's fair.
In terms of teams that like catch my attention, it would be Karnan and Co. and like Alpha Atheris.
Okay.
I know Alpha Atheris dropped what's his name, Hask, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they're picking up. They can because even though are they a T1 Latam team?
I think
Like they're
technically,
T1.
yes.
So I don't know if you heard, but Akabil has recently left Six Karma. So like if Akabil joins Alpha Atheris,
That could be dangerous.
that would be dangerous. Yeah, and then like obviously the X Mirage roster, like that's a strong core. Those would be like my top 3, and then the 2 worst, I would say.
Okay. And final question here, or second to last question here. Is there anyone that you want to beat in particular? You know, former teammates, someone who's might have been starting beef, or just, always a fun matchup to play?
Uh, I mean, it would be obviously fun to play E1 All Stars. Like I get to bully Twist and Skunky again, and then I could bully Cohen. That would be a fun matchup. Besides that, not really. There's no like extra narratives or storylines going on right now.
Right. And then the real final question, are we going to see a meta shift just because there's going to be a bunch of
Oh
W7M?
shit!
Oh, Jesus.
My webcam just fell off my monitor.
Damn, all right. Didn't
Shit
realize
said
it was
fuck
going
no.
that bad.
Yeah, dude, that's the fucking new meta right there. So continue your question.
Yeah. So, are we going to see a bunch of W7M enjoyers kind of copying the Bulls, or do you think people are just going to keep doing their own thing?
So I think the problem with the new meta is I'm just gonna hold this. I'm fucking
Yeah.
vlogging now. The problem with the new meta is that it's so defender sided, especially with this new op. Obviously the new op won't be in quals, but he'll be in like the Swiss stage and playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just so strong, just denying walls. Like if you play him on Clubhouse, you can just throw it on the wall. If they try to thermite, you just bring your bandit over, bandit trick it. It's done. It's done and over. It's just like it's so fucking annoying. So and the only thing that attacks really had was floor nades, because like you could consistently clear positions. Like I could always floor nade under master if I'm doing a fucking gym attack. I could always floor nade under CC on border. And I've been screaming the test server obviously, and there's like
Yeah.
so many spots that I'm like playing now. I'm like, oh wait, I don't have to like worry about getting fucking naded. Like I play Geisha a lot on Skyscraper. I'm like, this is so easy. I don't have to care about nades. I can just hold my fucking breach the whole time. Um, so I don't think W7M will have like their playstyle and everything won't have much influence, because I feel like that's kind of how everyone's been playing recently. Just like kind of just a lot of like team play, a lot of just like early aggressiveness and then falling back. I don't. So I think that's always. I think that's already what's been really happening. So yeah, I would think in terms of meta shifts, we're gonna see it very leaning heavily towards defenders, and like I think the teams that will shine will be the teams that can actually win attack rounds without like abusing like gimmicks and shit.
All right. And then to close out here, is there anything you want to say?
Uh, I don't know. Obviously, I'm very grateful for being invited to E2. Was looking at the qual format. I'm just like, yeah, thank God I don't have to play in that. Um, so I'm very thankful for like obviously my team being like proving ourselves to be one of the invited teams. And then yeah, just like shout out to all the fans, and you'll see me in some interviews, and I hope to start some instigation and banter like I did in E1.
Perfect.